We need to be reminded, not taught. You know that already, and you know you don't need a perfect plan. In this video, I'll show you why waiting for the perfect time is killing your potential for success, and I'm going to give you an actionable step-by-step framework to help with it. Thinking you need a perfect plan is obviously a ridiculous thought, considering we know almost every big entrepreneur that you look up to just started by throwing themselves into it and making progress every day along the way. They all seem to have the same story where they got themselves into a big mess, had to figure it out, and they were able to. I've been there before. You think you need to make one more thing perfect. You need to make that one small tweak. You need to make that one last change. And 5 years later, you look back at a project you did and said, that was my work. And the same applies with where you're at right now in life. You're going to spend this extra time working on something to make these small tweaks. And in reality, you're going to make so much more progress if you just do your work, get it done, get it out. You're going to make so many more iterations. Then when you look back, you're going to say, that definitely wasn't me, because you started taking action and you moved yourself forwards. Movement allows you to find your path and make progress so much faster than anything else. So that's what you need to do today. You need to stop consuming and planning and thinking and start producing, start taking action. Now, I'm not saying be completely disorganized. Of course not. I use different organizational tools myself, but I do force myself to take action every day to move myself to where I want to be. And you may not realize this, but when you're avoiding action, it's really because you're trying to avoid the pain of not knowing exactly what it is that you're doing. It's so much easier to sit and plan out everything in this really nice, meticulous, organized fashion, where you could just get your ideas down on paper and move along to the actual action portion. But there are probably a couple of things that you don't know how to do. And I empathize with that. It's real. When there's something you don't know how to do yet, it's hard because you have to just figure it out, and no one's here to save you. This is your encouragement right here to start getting a little uncomfortable, figure out a thing or two. And as I said in the last video, once you have your general system down, it becomes so much easier. Once you have things broken down into the buckets and you know how to do each one of those things, then you can actually start building on those buckets. So those base units of work I've talked about in a couple of videos now, you can do those base ideas, and then each one of those base ideas gets better as you go along and as you spend more time working on your craft. But everyone's fear is, what if you are going the wrong direction? There's actually a really simple way to course correct, and we're going to cover that in just a minute. But first, we need to cover momentum over perfection. Today's example, we're going to go over somebody who wants to get into garage sale flipping, where they take items from a garage sale and flip them on the internet. So go ahead, point number one, set yourself a bias for action. If you want to start flipping stuff at garage sales, go to a garage sale and in the same day, get it listed on a platform, whether it's eBay or whatever. Pick those smallest possible steps to where you actually take action. Just going to a garage sale doesn't count. Doing research on items at a garage sale does not count. If you're trying to start a business because you want to make money, it's about what you can do, what action you can take to actually start making that money. And in this case, it's putting it online so somebody can then go and buy it from you. Now, track small progress. Don't try and hit that $10,000 home run. That's the second point. Get a couple of things and flip it for $5. If your goal is to make money, if you flip $5 enough times, you will make money, and eventually that $10,000 home run is going to show up. And embrace feedback. The faster you act, the faster you're going to run into problems, and then the faster you can fix them and start making more progress and start becoming more efficient in what you're doing. So if you realize, oh no, shipping is becoming a problem for me, it's hard to get everything out on time, you're going to have to come up with a solution for that. And that's an awesome problem. That means you're making money and you can make more as you fix that system. Now, back to the question of, what if you are going in the wrong direction? You just have to be able to pivot quickly when you need to. So go ahead, look for signals, course correct without guilt, and build an adaptation loop. So step one here is looking for signals. So in looking for signals, we're going to look at and track tangible metrics. If you're flipping stuff at a garage sale, how much money did you make? That is the number one thing you're looking at, I'm sure. But are you doing well in one category and poorly in another one? Because if so, maybe we need to shift our focus from the one we're doing poorly in into something we're doing well. And course correct without guilt is number 2. So if you see that that thing isn't working, shift over to what is. If baseball cards are working really well for you and electronics are not working well for you, stop buying electronics and start buying more baseball cards. You clearly have some sort of information that's making you better at making good decisions in that area. And the last part of this is those adaptation loops. So have regular check-in times with yourself where you go over the metrics that you are tracking and say, do we need to course correct? So if you're scared about making the wrong decision, have this 3-point system in place, and then you're going to know if you need to course correct, and you have the understanding of how to do that. You look at the things that are working, you look at what things are not working, and you have metrics to back up your rationale and why you're thinking about making a change. All right, so commit to momentum over perfection and be willing to pivot when you need to so you can keep making progress forward, because you're inevitably going to have to make shifts in your business in whatever your goal is. You're going to have to make changes as you go along. So start taking action so you can make those changes even faster. So here's the bottom line for the whole thing. A little bit of direction is better than no direction. If you feel like you're stuck, act first, adjust second. All right, so as always, drop a comment below. What is the one thing you've been over planning, and how are you going to overcome that using the systems I laid out? If this hit home for you, check out my next video where I break down the difference between telling people you're going to do something so that you can feel good about yourself and actually doing something so that once you've done it, you can take a big sense of pride in telling other people that you have accomplished something. That's all for now. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.